It's fiery. Fiery for unlimited data. Stops you going over your. Madness, that is.
Right, let's see. Yes, we're gone live. We are live. Hopefully, we're not going to fucking freeze again like last week. Have you got a notification from YouTube, Paul?
To be fair, I think I switched them off because they were pissing me off.
Yes,
not from Bella's channel. I mean, like, I must have subscribed to loads of channels by accident. So I'm getting photography videos and I don't know fucking first thing about taking a photograph. And I kept getting. It might have been when I maybe subscribed to some channels by accident when I was looking at GoPro videos when I bought the Hero 7 last year. But like, I was getting bare shitty notifications about.
Yeah, I just got notifications. I had to turn mine off.
I switched them all off. I haven't had one off. Oh, I have got one off Facebook.
Yeah, there's definitely Facebook's definitely live. YouTube's definitely live as well. I just had confirmation from Pixie saying live on both. So we're good money there. Well, good evening, everybody who's currently watching us. Welcome to episode 85. 15 episodes till the 100th episode. It's going fucking, we're getting there. This is the pre-Expo show, but we've got some stuff to discuss as well. Paul, how's your week been? What have you had for tea? What are you drinking? What are you vaping? How are you?
Oh, I've had another busy week. I've sounded like a martyr every week, man, but I had a busy week at work. Been sorting out some things, been trying to do a deal, buying another company. It's just been busy. I'm drinking fucking water, mate. I'm on the water high. I bought this stupid fucking watch and it keeps saying, "Come on, fatty, get up and fucking move yourself."
That's all you said about your steps.
Mate, I've been on it, I swear. Look, I got in from work yesterday and then I went for a walk. I've been for a walk tonight because I went into a meeting at 12 o'clock today and I thought I might be there till about 1:30. And my plan was to do my hour walk out at 1:30, have my dinner at 1:30. And I never come out of the meeting till 4:30. So I jumped in my car and I'd only done 2,500 steps all day, which is still probably 2,300 more than I'd normally do before this fucking watch come along. I'm not joking, but actually I'm on the Devils now. I've done 6,000. Fucking watch is shit.
Won't even turn on for him. Tap it.
I've done 6,666 steps.
It could have been worse. You could have lost your phone place.
But I'm not joking, mate. I've been having to have a couple of paracetamol. My legs are fucked. I swear to God, my legs are stiff. So, but I've had a couple of paracetamol in the morning and a couple before I've gone to bed, just so I can just keep going at it till my legs get used to it. And I'm determined to just not be such an unfit fat cunt. So
I've got some coding for you on Saturday if you want it.
No, I've got all the shit that I had left over from when I bust my ribs. So, and then today I drunk 2 litres of water, boy, from when I got up this morning. I had a glass of water in the house, which I never ever drink water. But I was downstairs before 20:27 this morning. I had a glass of water, had a banana, took a bottle of water with me, drunk that on the way to work, filled it up just with plain water, drunk that. I've been pissing like a fucking racehorse all day.
Is that because of the water or is that because you're getting old? Is that because you're drinking water or is that the 5 o'clock wake up call when you need a piss on the morning because you're getting old?
Now, to be fair, Lord, I haven't checked my blood sugar since before Christmas. And the reason why I didn't check it is because I was 99% sure it's going to be bad. So I was like, I was being a bit of a dickhead, like, and just avoiding it. But I've never like with the thirsting. You know what I mean? I might take a drink up to Benjamin, but I know like my old man that drink fucking 2, 3 litres, 4 litres during the night when he had diabetes. I've never had that as one of the symptoms. So
I love water. I drink water, loads of water, stupid amounts.
now, Billy's the same. My son Billy will drink water all the, like he'd rather have a glass of water than a fizzy drink, where I'll drink fizzy drink and shit. But yeah, so I'm drinking Volvic, sugar-free strawberry water. I'm vaping Bloodsucker on the Cape on Light 2019 and the Asmodeus. What did I have for my tea? I had chicken, potato wedges, and baked beans. Because baked beans is one of your 4 a day. Did you know that?
Baked beans are good for you. Yeah, they're really good for you.
Really good for you, huh?
So I got in literally. Tash was cooking when I walked in the door. Within 20 minutes, I was eating. I tied up the kitchen, or we all tied up the kitchen between us. Tash went and bathed the kids. I met Bremley to get to bed. Made a bottle for Bobby. Fucked off out on my walk, and I was averaging 17 minutes a mile. I don't know if that's quite indifferent actually. It was about 3.3 miles an hour I was walking at.
That's decent.
So I've done, and literally the route
For somebody that doesn't exercise, that is decent. Do you know what I mean?
now,
You can't expect miracles. You can't be expecting more Farah levels. You know what I mean?
No. Even when I was like 4 stone heavy, I've still always enjoyed walking and always been able to walk. And even though my legs ache and I'm blowing out my arsehole, I pretty much can sort of carry on through it. But what I was surprised about, I went out Monday night to get my steps in, and I went on a mission, man. Well, I've done 3.6 miles in an hour, and I literally got back to the house 1 hour and 1 minute after I left, and it was 3.6 miles. And I've done about 6,600 steps, I think, in that hour. And I was thinking, like, of my fucking chest and that. So I got to the top of my hill. You know what my hill's like on my road.
Yeah.
Got to the top of that hill, and I was blowing out of my arsehole, like, properly. And I was like fucking 5 minutes from my house, and I was fucking writ off. But then like, I went. Then it's a bit downhill, and then I started walking. I thought if I do this, probably a couple of miles, and then I ended up going on a mad mission because I got quicker. I got further quicker than I thought I would. So I thought I'm gonna try and do an hour's walking, and literally the route that I ended up doing took me 1 hour and 1 minute, and it was 3.6 miles. So that's averaging sort of 3.6. So I'm averaging 1.2 miles every 20 minutes. So that's like more than 3 miles an hour.
That's 5k though. 3.6 miles is 5k. So you're doing a 5k running an hour, a walk in an hour is really fucking good.
But I woke up Tuesday morning and my legs, I felt like someone had fucking screwed Stephen Hawking's legs on me. So I popped some paracetamol before I went to work, and I got the dirtiest blister on my. I got my Zeppies on that I wear for work. And to be fair, they're 3 years old. But one of them, I should have just tied the lace up. I was being that lazy, I didn't even bend down to tie the lace up because obviously they zip on and off. So I never ever undo the laces. But I was walking and I was thinking, fucking rubbing my big toe that is. And when I got back, I took my sock off and I got a dirty blister on the top of my big toe, not on the end of it, on the top of my big toe. So then Tuesday I woke up and my fucking toe was sore. Yesterday I went for a walk. Disco Dave come round yesterday and I was like, come on, we'll go out for a walk. And David looked at me like I'd just fucking asked him. He was a bit like, fucking walk, what you on about, you mad thing? I need to get some fucking steps in.
Go for a Tuesday night walk.
Me and Dave went for this fucking, I've done the same route last night as what I've done tonight, so 2 miles we walked. But then I was like, fucking, I ain't trimmed more toenails for fucking ages, man. And look, the end of my toes were sore. You know, look, and look, as much as a lot of my journey's downhill, uphill, a lot of it's downhill. So then you sort of,
you're screwing your feet.
My fucking I've been clapping the end of my fucking shoe. And I meant to cut them last night and I forgot. And I got to work this morning. I was like, my toes feel tender. And then I opened my drawer in my desk and I remembered I got a bill kit in there. So I got the old fucking wire cut today. And I literally sat in my office at work today with my socks off and my feet up on my desk, trimming my toenails. I'm dedicated. Like our offices are about. Well, it's
On company time.
yeah. To be fair,
Okay.
They're grooming himself on company time.
I had a new 16 telly put in there for the CCTV, so I was watching Power and fucking True.
Yes, Paul.
I watched the Samsung unboxing from yesterday. Did anyone watch the Samsung unboxing?
No, what was that?
Well, they just basically done. It's like an Apple launch, but it was for the new Samsung product, man. The new S20 Ultra is sick. I need myself a new phone.
Yeah, when's it out? Is it out now then?
But I think it'll be out sometime in March. I can pre-order it now. It's £1,400 now, man.
Wow.
What I swear, it's
My phone got and my spare phone broke. This one's like fuck knows what it's called. But it don't even say Samsung anymore. Like the S and the A's gone. So long phone.
What justifies buying a phone for £1,400 though?
because I spent £1,400 on a MacBook, and I use my phone way more than I use my MacBook.
That's true.
So,
You do think everyone is a lot more on the phone than anything else.
This Surface Pro that I'm on, when I bought it, £2,000 for the actual the computer and the keyboard and all that good stuff. And quite honestly, because I deserve it, because I'm a fucking legend, so I should be able to treat myself. No, to be fair, I haven't pre-ordered it because I'm like £1,400 for a phone, man. That's a lot of dough. My first car was only fucking 374. Do you know what I mean?
But that's £1,000 marks what most of the new phones cost anyway, and it's only £400 more than that.
But only £400.
They've bought out an S20, an S20 Plus, and an S20 Ultra. So the S20 is like on contract. I think you can get it on contract for sub £50. So that's on par with their normal handsets. I think I might be wrong, but I think all of the S20 series, whether it's the standard, the Plus, or the Ultra, come with YouTube Premium standard. So you've got ad-free YouTube on there. They've got Google Duo built into them. So when I add Tom as a contact, it'll automatically give me Google Duo so I can video call you through the Google network. But mate, it's got 8K recording on it. And I'm talking like proper 8K recording on it. It's got on the Ultra, it's got to 100 times optical. Well, it's got 10 times optical zoom, which is fucking fire for any camera. And then it's got 10 times digital zoom on top of that, which gives it 100 times zoom. And then during this after this show, anyone watching, go onto YouTube, just search for the Google launch yesterday. The whole of the show that they done yesterday was fully streamed on S10 phones. They streamed the whole thing like in this massive order, and like, they don't even tell you till so far into it, and it's just to demonstrate that the phone is sick. Like they've got videos of someone with an S10 on a tripod. I don't know where it is. It's basically there's a bridge that must overlook Alcatraz, and like literally they've got a camera that shows them on the bridge, like they're videoing it, and you cannot even see Alcatraz in the background. They zoom in, and Alcatraz is the full picture of the phone in decent quality. And I mean, the zoom on this, it's going to be like a pedo's paradise. This phone is, I swear. Next level zoom on it. It's crazy. And to be fair, I probably won't even use all that shit. But I was like, I need the new. I can't remember when my contract's up on my phone. In fact, like this phone I bought, Natasha bought me this, which is the S10 Plus, but I just had a brand new S9 Plus, I think.
What's this new called? The S20?
Yeah, I think what they've done is obviously iPhone missed out the iPhone 10, 9 and went straight to 10. So they've just launched the iPhone 11 and Samsung's at S10. So what they've done is they've actually used 2020 as a way to jump to 20s, which is quite clever. Psychologically, people will go, "Oh, you've only got an iPhone 11. I've got a Samsung 20, mate. You're fucking 9. You're 9." But they've also bought out the Samsung Z Flip, and it's basically an S10 that folds that way in half. So it's that size when it was folded, and then it opens up full screen. It's naughty. Fire.
Yeah, I've seen one. I've seen folded phones before because I've seen there's a reviewer on YouTube and there is a phone that literally just bends in half as a book.
Samsung, you've got the Samsung Fold that is basically, it's not quite as wide as that, and then it folds open that way to double your screen. Yeah. But I know they've had issues with it, but on this Z Flip, it's actually a glass fold. It's not plastic, it's glass that folds. Crazy shit, mate. And when it's folded, it's got a small, basically, you've got cameras there. So when this one's folded, it's about that size. And then you've got a display this size. I'm doing everything backwards. And you've got a display that covers about half of there. And then you've got a camera that covers that half. So then when someone calls you, you only got to open, you can see who's calling. You can see if you've got a text message. You can take a selfie, and that little viewer turns into a screen. So you can take a selfie without opening. Just clever shit, really. And to be fair, I only watched it because I thought they might be launching a new smartwatch, and I was like, I've bought this one now. They're bound to drop a new smartwatch, but they haven't. They dropped the Z Flip, the S Plus, the S Ultra, and they dropped some new earbuds. But the S20 Ultra is fire. And mate, with an external up to 1.5 terabytes of memory in your phone.
What the fuck?
16 meg of RAM on the phone for the processor. It's fucking next level, man.
They're getting better than fucking actual computers, aren't they? Like they're using them well better than fucking computers.
But what they've said is they've done
that is fucking crazy.
And something like 80% of the nation are using, or 90% of people are just using mobile devices. So they're just trying to make them as user-friendly as they can.
That is fucking crazy.
So you toenails him?
Huh?
You cut your
yeah. I trimmed my toenails anyway. And then when I got in tonight, I went for another walk and got back on it.
So what are you using? There's a question for you. What are you using to walk in then? What are you walking in? Please don't be easy.
Just my Giuseppe's, to be honest.
You're walking in boots?
Nah, but mate, them Giuseppe's are comfortable. They're not like...
I get that, but you're walking in boots. Fucking 5k in boots, you fucking mental is what you are.
What?
Because you need to get this. I've got runner shoes and I've got socks. 2 pairs of socks cost me 26 quid alone in the running socks.
Yeah, but your trainers, mate, honestly, I wouldn't even wear them on a run.
I knew that was coming. Don't get me wrong, they are the ugliest fucking things ever. Don't get me wrong, and they were fucking dull for what they look like. Don't get me wrong, but they are the cool pieces together.
To be honest, when we was at Expo, Max says on the Friday Expo, I had some 700 Yeezys on, and they genuinely are the most comfortable things I've ever put on my feet, except the Balenciaga socks, and I've tried some of them on, and I just couldn't justify spending nearly 600 quid on them. And more because I don't know what I'd wear them with, because I don't wear skinny jeans and shit like that. So actually, I feel like that Balenciaga, if you put a normal pair of boot cut jeans, I don't wear boot cut, but if you put a normal...
You liar!
Now, if you put a normal pair of jeans on over them Balenciagas, look, it just kills the look of the trainer.
Yeah, they look shit. I
tried some of them on, and they were literally the closest thing ever to having nothing on your feet while having something on your feet. Second to that, the Yeezy 700s are the most comfortable things ever. And I've only got 1 pair of 700s, but I've probably got 16 or 18 pairs of 350s. And 350 are also next level comfortable, but the 700 just a little bit more comfortable. But I did say, like, when we was at Expo, on the Friday, I had a pair of black 700s on. And then on the Saturday, I had a pair of Giuseppe's on. And Max says to me, you only bought them because they're expensive. And I was like, mate, honestly, I bought a pair for... I don't even know what cash paid for my first pair, but without being a pretentious prick, they're about 600 quid for a pair of shoes. But literally within Within a few months, for whatever, because I'm a dickhead, I started wearing them to work because they're just black. And like Giuseppe do some really next level extreme stuff that I wouldn't wear, but these ones were black zips, black logos, black trainer, black soles, just black. But I've been wearing them to work for over 3 years, and they're still decent. I used to spend.
The factory's not the best environment to be wearing them in as well.
I used to wear Air Force Ones to work before, just like pure black, just like triple blacks. Probably cost me about 90 quid, and they'd last me. If they last me 8 to 10 weeks before they literally were fucked, that's all they'd last me. And I literally drove to work this morning thinking I've spent say £600 on a pair of shoes that, unless I've gone to work in a suit and I've wore actual shoes, I've literally wore these Giuseppes every day to work. They've worked out less per year than what he would have done if I was just wearing Air Force Ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm walking around looking like I'm a baller in a pair of Giuseppes every day. Genuinely, they're comfortable. Like, I haven't got a pair. I've got Louboutin dress shoes that I bought for my nephew's wedding. And as far as normal shoes go, the Louboutins are fire. But Billy's got some Louboutin trainers with the spikes on, and they're not fucking £600 comfortable.
Yeah,
I can honestly say the Giuseppes are comfortable. And like tonight, I've gone out and I've worn them all day to work. I've got in, I ate my food, I've been out for a walk, and I've still got them on my feet now. I haven't even kicked them off after I've got in from the walk. So, and as far as being a fat cunt goes, I'm on my feet most of the day. And to me, your shoes are as important as your fucking bed. But I know people, mate, that are walking around with a £1,400 phone, and their bed cost them 89 quid with the mattress. No, genuinely, and I know that people are like, no, like we bought a new bed about 5 years ago, and it was about 1,500 quid, which actually is not that expensive, really. I mean, I don't mean that flippantly, because you can pay £4,000 for a decent mattress, for like a high-end mattress. So it was about 1,500 quid, and even then I was like, well, that's a lot of money for a bed, man. It's not like I get in it and I'm asleep and I wake up and I get out the fucking thing. But to be fair, I'm laying it for 7-8 hours a night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I know people.
But a good night's sleep determines what your next day's going to be like as well, doesn't it?
Exactly. And I think because I'm fat and because I'm unfit, to scrimp on shoes is crazy. And if I can afford to buy a decent pair of shoes, I should buy them. So
I'm still giving you props for walking 5K in a pair of fucking boots. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
You've got Wellington boots.
Yeah, but they're proper, like they're decent dress shoes, like something you would wear with jeans. So I'm giving you props for that because I couldn't fucking do it. I'm telling you now.
Like I said, genuinely, for a fat lad, I've always been able to walk half decent. But tonight, I was going to put the 700s on and go for a walk in them. But quite honestly, I don't want to fuck them up going out walking in them. But then, if it helps me lose weight, I've probably saved the price of a pair of fucking Yeezys this week. Not even.
I want to go. I want to go to a running shop with you and get you the ugliest looking comfortable shoes you've ever seen.
You don't have to. I'd rather go and buy the Balenciagas and use them just for walking in. No, I swear. I mean, I put them on and I couldn't believe I'd got a pair of shoes on my feet. Literally, it was like having not even a pair of socks on, mate. It was next level mad. To the point where I was like pressing down on my feet to like, I can't even explain. It was madness. Billy was with me and I was like, I can't believe that I've even got shoes on my feet. Crazy shit. That's got
Sam Yates has got a good question though. I don't know if you've seen it. I won't read it out. I'll let you look at it.
You do a lot more than sleep in your bed. How do you explain all That's just making assumptions that we only have sex in the bed.
What a comeback. What a comeback. That's you told Sam. That's you told Sam. Fucking hell. So Kev, how's your week been? What you vaping? What you having for tea? And how's everything?
Tea, I haven't had anything yet, as I got in probably 10 minutes before we went live. Vaping on Billet Box, North Bridge, and what was the last question?
How's your week been? How are you? How are you?
All right, just all right. Just busy. You know me. Obviously, it's coming up to Expo, so it's even busier and everything else. So yeah, just busy as always.
And you, Adam? How's your week been? What you have for tea? What you vaping?
I had stew and dumplings. That was nice. Week's been alright. Very busy with the baby. It's not been well, but that's going to happen. And no sleep still. And I'm on the dot mod with some salts because I'm in a room with the baby and I can't be setting firearms off because the other kids are asleep.
So you're being a good egg.
Well,
Being responsible.
it's a bit selfish in being upstairs, really. But it's if I had my way, they'd be in the garden.
Right. So we've got a few things to talk about. Obviously,
Thomas. What are you vaping? What did you have for tea? How's your week been?
I had pizza for tea. My it was only a little one. It wasn't a fucking big 12 fucking inch whatever. It was only a little one. I swear, it was chicken. It was chicken and mushroom. I promise you, it was chicken and mushroom, and it was on stone baked bread.
And everything, didn't you?
I'm fucking telling you, I've chips in it. I didn't fucking know it.
Box.
It didn't come in a box.
We need the box.
It didn't come in a box.
All right, and you've got packaging for the pizza, haven't you?
I've got a bag. Yeah, I've got the bag in there. I've got the Cafe Nero bag. Yeah, I have.
Right.
The bag.
Yeah, it came in the Cafe Nero bag.
Cafe Nero.
Yeah, the Cafe Nero. Yeah, the Cafe Nero pizza.
Someone turned up with a pizza in the bag.
That's what I have for me tea.
What's Cafe Nero?
It's like
It's
Costa
a
or
coffee shop.
Starbucks. Coffee shop.
It's a coffee shop. I didn't even realise it served pizza, to be fair.
Yeah, it was chicken and fucking mushroom. That's God's honest truth.
I think it's lies.
It's
Italian. It's Italian coffee.
And it was on stone bread. It was on like stone baked bread. Yeah, that's what I had. You lot saying he's got it with fucking chips and it's fucking 16 inches, you horrible bastard. You horrible fuckers.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Proper pizza.
Well, Tom, make sure you feed up tonight because it's better.
Mate, I'm taking pack up me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm having fucking snap already.
Just 8 pot noodles.
Kettle on standard pot noodles. That's what we're taking, lads.
Sounds a plan.
Kev, I'm sure you already stocked up with pot noodles, mate. So you just go downstairs and grab them for us if you want it. I know what's in your fucking cupboard.
This is what my life's resorted to, a fibre 190 calorie thing. There's a dirty Toblerone in the fridge as well. You know, the big fucking triangles.
The one that girl was eating on the way to school.
That's exactly what I found it in the cupboard the other day, and Tasha said, "Is that look like that Gill had on the way to school?" And it literally, I had 3 triangles of it on Sunday night. He ripped off, and it's like I felt like I'd ate fucking 4 Snickers. But then every time I open the thing, the water, the Toblerone's like that. Fatty. And have you seen them pigs? You've got them pigs you can get. So when you open the door, it goes.
You fucking hell. That's fucking proper giving you good self-esteem when you open the fridge and it fucking starts oinking at you. You'll never open the fucking thing again. How's that brownie? Fire by the looks of it. It's only 90 calories, remember?
You know what? It's like fucking paper.
Right, let's get into a bit of vaping. So we're going to talk about Expo in a little bit, but I've got some stuff that we're going to talk about. So the first topic I'm going to tell you about, I don't know if you know this, but at the Oscars, they give out goodie bags. And in the goodie bag for the 24 people that were nominated for Oscars over the weekend were given a 24-carat gold-plated vape in their goodie bags. What do we think to that?
Where do I get them?
Why the fuck did they give out 24-carat plated vapes?
I'm guessing.
Smoke ain't good enough.
I'm guessing it was one of the big tobacco companies. Vape.
They said it was in the news article I was reading. They said it was very influenced by Leonardo DiCaprio. Why they give them away? It was heavily influenced by him. I don't know how true that is.
What brand was it?
I have no idea what the brand was. I just literally saw a picture of it, and it looks like a Ego Twist and a fucking CE4.
Honestly,
so it was probably a weed fucking pen for all I know. But
yeah,
it
you
looked
know
like
what?
a CE4.
You need to email the Oscars and tell them that we'll give them some liquid and some vape bands for next year's bags. and a fucking even put a snapback in each of the bags, man.
You see what winners sat there in our snapbacks? That'd be fucking heavy.
He interviewed on the red carpet in the fucking as a fucking sexy as fuck hat or something.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I was a bit like taken back. I was like, why the fuck would I get it that the Oscar award is gold, but they will give in the goodie bags, they give 24 to the nominees, 24-carat gold-plated.
I mean, as much as it's extravagant, I don't think it's a bad thing, is it? It can't be a bad thing for vaping.
No.
Especially with what's going on in America, I think, as in general right now. Like, if they're giving the standard of people, if you're nominated for an Oscar, like you've got to be really well known, haven't you? So
there's got to be some sort of influence there. Like as I said in that news article, they said it was Leonardo DiCaprio that was the influence of sort of getting people in vaping. But you're not going to put a 24-carat gold-plated fucking e-cig on your mantelpiece, are you?
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Put a award on there. You won't put a fucking
straight down the fucking pawn shop with that cunt.
On fucking eBay. But 24 30.
That boy, I could never be a super famous Oscar-winning geezer. I would literally sell it on Marketplace for jokes.
Listen, last time you sold some, you got 100 grand for it. Remember that fucking loaf of bread?
Did we talk about this on the show the other week?
Not we did it. We've done it in the past, but yeah.
No, about 2 weeks ago, Tasha said to me, "Look, she's got bugaboo push chairs and whatever that she's had, and she wanted to sell them. And she was like, they're probably better off going on eBay than Marketplace, because on Marketplace, it's just loads of tramps messaging you saying, all right, mate, I know you got the push chair up for 800 quid, but would you take £17 and a fucking milk token?" So she says, I'll stick them on eBay. So she said to me, I'm going to email them and say, look, we've been, because very quickly I put a loaf of bread up just for jokes, and it sold for £127,000. When it was snowing, so I put this loaf of bread up saying, beat the rush, blah, 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 blah. It went fucking viral, sold for £127,000. I thought nothing of it. About 12 days later, I had an email off eBay saying they've tried to take 11.5 grand sellers fees out of my bank. The bank had declined it because I had less than I had about $8 in the bank at the time, and I was thinking, fucking hell, if I'd have had more than 11.5 grand, bam, they'd have just pulled it for the seller's fees. So they sent me an email saying, you've not been able to cover the seller's fees, so we're going to resubmit it. You basically got a legal responsibility to pay this. And I was like, fuck's sake. So I emailed the geezer that had bought this loaf of bread for £127,000. I said, listen, you need to pay me for the bread, or you need to cancel the sale, because if you don't cancel the sale, they're going to chase me for the fucking seller's fees, and I'm going to have to chase you legally for the fucking buyer's fees. And clearly, you don't want a loaf of bread for £127,000. So I said to Tasha, phone up eBay and tell them that I lost my phone over Christmas. It was obviously logged into the eBay account, and someone's just been a prick, and we don't really use eBay that much, and we didn't realise until we got this email for the seller's fees. So Tasha phoned them up and said, hi, my husband's had an email about some seller's fees for a loaf of bread. We've just looked on our account, but we've never lifted the bread. But my husband's phone got lost or stolen over Christmas, and it must have been logged into the account, blah, blah, blah. And the blatant is to, you're fucking lying, because the MAC and the IP address of the hardware, which was an iPad that was used to upload all the other stuff you've sold, was also used to upload your loaf of bread. Literally, they cancelled the seller's fees and banned me from selling on eBay. This has got to be going back to 2012, so 8 years ago. So she emailed them 2 weeks ago and said, hi, there's a ban on my account from 8 years ago. You can see that we're still an active buyer on eBay. I wondered if you could lift the ban. And they literally replied back and says, no, fuck off. You're better off look for another selling platform.
No way.
And I was like, you miserable bunch of motherfuckers. After 8 years, who's not got a sense of humour to say, as if this geezer, I was driving to work, this sold on a Sunday night. I was driving to work on Monday morning, and on Radio 1, it was talking about this loaf of bread that had sold for 127 grand on eBay. So I'm like, I'm going to work, check me out. And then the geezer at eBay clearly hasn't got a sense of humour and just struck me off from selling. 8 years later, he's still sore about it.
Because he will fucking rub his hands together for fucking nearly 10 grand in buyer's fee, that's why. One fucking sale, 10 bags, gay. That's what he was fucking doing. So yeah, we've decided we're going to sell our 24-carat gold-plated vapes on eBay.
I'll try it first and then sell it.
It was hollow tips, Tom. The device was.
What?
It was hollow tips.
Are they weed pens?
Yes. So basically, there was a 15-year-old who died from vaping cannabis, and Leonardo DiCaprio put the pens in the Oscars packs to basically honour him, and saying obviously the pens is obviously the authorised way of doing it, and that's obviously the promotion of it, isn't it?
Ah, so he's definitely got money in that company then.
More than likely, or is obviously affiliated in some way to the company.
I'll still put it on fucking eBay.
Truth, absolute truth. Right, so the next subject I've got is...
I'd just put it on one of the Facebook groups with PM's key and just like...
Actually handled by DiCaprio.
Good old fucking Leo. Right, so the next subject we've got is the Attorney General is suing Juul for creating youth vaping.
Youth vaping?
Youth vaping was created by Juul.
Mate,
this is what the Attorney General in the States.
I don't know what the stats are. I'm sure there's some stats somewhere. But surely to God, the amount of people that have started, the youths that have started vaping, used to start fucking smoking. In maybe 80 or 90% of it. Because they know that the amount of youths that have started smoking has fallen considerably. Therefore, you've got to assume that they're vaping instead. So, it just fucking does my head in.
Yeah, they still go out getting pissed and all. It's mad. No one says anything about that because it's an old problem.
It's just mad. I don't get it. Like I said, I started smoking at 12 years old. And I'd imagine the people who were like me at 12 years old now start vaping because it's more trendier. It's the thing to do. Or their mum and dad might be vaping. So instead of smoking, they'll vape. But if the mum and dad were still smoking, they just started smoking. That's got to be less acceptable than a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old vaping, in my humble opinion. I made a comment on the show a few weeks ago that because people don't let their kids out as much, there's girls out there that are 14 years old and never been fingered yet. But back in my day, mate, it was like fucking. It was just like, look, you go over the park. I'm not suggesting that as a 44-year-old man I should be over the park for a 14-year-old girl. But I'm telling you, as a 14-year-old kid, you go out, you bottle of Thunderbird, you drink half, you give someone else half, and then you'd have fucking 2 digits up.
Fucking hell.
Mate, for half a bottle of Thunderbird, someone was sucking your cock.
You for today, not the bar.
And you call Bruce West Midlands.
Oh, fucking hell. I just, how can they say that Joel started youth vaping? I just don't understand how they can literally pinpoint that on them and then not go to the 3 or 4 tobacco companies that fucking have kids still smoking to this day and age and go, well, you started kids smoking, you started everyone smoking.
It literally doesn't make sense. Honestly, I can't comprehend that they come out with the shit that they come out with and expect anyone with any amount of common sense not to say, stop being a twat. That's not even me trying to be funny or anything. It's like 8 people or 12 people or whatever it was died or from this fucking cannabis smoking, vape through a vaping device. 40,000 people a week or a day or something. I can't remember the stat. It's a big number. I think it's 40,000 people a week in the world die from smoking, or 40,000 people a day die from smoking a day. 8 people worldwide die, and everyone loses their shit and blames Joe and says, "Oh, it's this vaping, man. Stop vaping. You're much better off smoking because that'll help with our population control. Before you die, we'll tax the life out of you. When you're ill, we'll tax the life out of the medication that you take, and it just helps the world spinning around." That's literally what they should have said, because it is the most patronising bullshit fucking mantra I've ever. I can't understand how they genuinely can say you need to ban vaping because 50 people have been diagnosed with potential. 50 people. Who cares if 50 people die? There's 40,000 people, whatever that. I can't remember if it's a day or a week, because there's a lot of people dying.
7 million a year die from smoking. 7 million.
Well, then let me get my calculator, because I'm going to work out where these 40,000 come from, because I know that's a big
1,300.
Right. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 365 equals. So there's 19,178 people a day dying. That's 20,000 people as close as fuck it a day dying from smoking related illnesses. 50 people worldwide had issues from using basically fucking funky THC cartridges, and everyone lost their shit and tried to justify that vaping should be banned when 20,000 people a day are dying from smoking related illnesses.
But they weren't even vaping, were they? They was abusing the product, and you put in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's literally, it's literally like someone overdosing on heroin and then saying we need to ban hypodermic needles.
Yeah.
It amounts to exactly that. I can't. I honestly can't believe that they think us, the general public, are that stupid in the main. But then you say that, but look how it affected the industry single-handedly over them 3 months.
I was reading that article today, Paul, and it says that 73% of people are negative against vaping because of the media that's gone out over the last year.
People just ignorant, and that's all, and they believe mainstream media. Like, it's simple as that. Even down to this fucking virus and all that bollocks. He's only got a 2% death rate, but yet we're all going to die from it in the next 2 weeks.
Talking about that, I've seen someone saying, am I okay to accept a parcel from China? And people say, no, don't it? And I was like, why not, you fucking dickhead? Well, literally, this is a virus that lives in a human being or a bat or a rat or something, but something living. Right. So when I Googled it says that the coronavirus, and also I've seen people posting that picture of the Dettol bottle or something saying, oh, this is a new virus, the coronavirus, and look, it's even got it on the label. But coronavirus is a group of viruses, right? It's not called the coronavirus. So the common flu is a coronavirus. The common cold is a coronavirus. But the virus will live 3 to 5 hours under normal circumstances outside of the body. So 12 hours, they're saying that actually there's a 99.9% chance within 12 hours the virus is dead. You've got dickheads going, don't have a parcel from China, mate, especially if it's been ordered in the last 2 weeks. It's the best week in the world, right? It's taking 3 days to get here. It's about -40 in the hold and back up to temperature when it's fucking and all that other shit. Then DHL have it for 16 days while they decide what they're fucking about doing with it. And there's actual living people that say, no, don't order nothing from China. And then we've got the person who asked the question going, oh, thanks for that, mate. I couldn't bother. No, look, you bunch of fucking pricks, man. Fucking use Google. Just Google the fucking basic question.
People are fucking daft. But once again, it goes back to mainstream media. It's fucking scaremongering people, doesn't it? Because it's all over the fucking place.
Tom, Google how many people die annually from the flu.
How many people fucking HIV or AIDS?
No, just Google how many people die from the flu.
I think there's a high percentage rate to the flu to the coronavirus so far, isn't there?
Yeah, massive difference.
If you're at risk and you get the flu, it's just fucking dangerous as an heart attack.
The flu.
You know what? A lot of people say
the flu kills between 290,000 and 650,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Flu.
So if you go middle of the road on that, half a million, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 700 people dead against 500,000 people from a virus from the same family, and everyone's lost their shit. But then I'm sat here at home thinking.
It's like they massively scaremonger it. Like, I know we're saying that, but people see news, they see fucking BBC News and take it as fucking gospel and don't actually think, fucking hell, how many people die in hospital because they've got pneumonia? A lot more than what's dying from fucking Crohn's disease.
I mean, China, but that one town they closed down had 11 million people in it, and I've never fucking heard of it. And like, that shows what how big China is as a whole. Do you know what I mean?
It's just crazy, isn't it? And it's like, I sat at home thinking, what the fuck is going on in this world that they've had to scaremonger a fucking virus so badly about to divert all of our attentions away from?
Brexit since all this has happened.
Brexit and Trump impeachment.
I mean, that's how cynical I've got. I'm like, well, what the fuck is actually happening somewhere in the world that they want me to start panicking about ordering anything from China?
It's fucking
World
mental.
War Three, isn't it?
It's crazy.
World War III.
They're covering up World War Three. Covering World War Three up. That's what I reckon.
I hope you're fucking wrong, Kevin.
Well, you might get your new Samsung a bit cheap if this carries on.
Yeah, I'll just go loot one. I'll just go loot the put fucking hoodie on and just go out on the
They know you buy PCs.
No more, because you've been on about the fucking S20, so we'll be looting out S20s, right?
Yeah, 5G. Every time I fucking use my 5G connection, 6 sparrows fly over my house and die. That's another one.
Fucking hell. Right, so the next one we've got is also, this is where I think it's going to start hitting, when we have discussed this before, but Kentucky State, not Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kentucky State has approved a $50 million tax increase on vaping over 2 years. So they are now planning to tax the shit out of vaping. So they're saying, rather than banning it in the state, we're going to take as fucking much dough as we can off you. So over the next 2 years, they're increasing it by 50 million.
What was that, Adam?
Say that again, Adam.
How does that work? How do you tax vaping?
Because the same as the tax cigarette.
Huh?
Same as they tax the cigarette. So we'll have to pay, or the retailer will pay a lot more for the product because the person making it's got to pay a lot more tax. They have to pay a lot
all
more.
products is what I'm saying. So juice and hardware,
Everything
Everything to do with the vape.
everything to do with nicotine vaping, they are looking to tax up to 50 million in the next 2 years. So that they'll literally add money onto everybody, so everybody will be affected, not just the consumer, not just the shop, everybody from the creator down to the fucking person that's the end user will be taxed on that product.
So what, they've just got to accumulate 50 what million?
Yeah, they're looking to go to tax up to 50 million in the next 2 years. So that's the tax they want out of vaping for the next 2 years is 50 million.
Still cheaper than smoking, surely.
Which then starts the ball rolling in other states. So others, for me personally, the other states then start going, actually, we're not going to ban vaping. We're going to tax the fucking life out of it. And all these little companies will go, like we've discussed, all these little mum and pop shops who can't afford to be taxed will fucking go to the way-by, and just people who own big tobacco companies who own Blue, who own Juul, who own Vice, will start fucking being going, we could pay fucking tax quite happily.
I think there's a bit of a double-edged sword because they've sort of discredited vaping in America, which means that most people, in my opinion, and it's something that I've stood by right from the start, and something we discussed quite a lot last week, was I'd still say that in the main, most vapers vape because it saves them money, not because it's healthier for them.
Yeah.
Certainly from a Juul and Volt point of view, where they are literally mouth-to-lung vaping to replace their cigarettes. So if for me tomorrow to vape more mouth-to-lung device became as expensive as a cigarette, there's a real chance that I'd go back to smoking cigarettes, because no vape device that I've ever used is as convenient as smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
So if you take the convenience out of it and you take the cost saving out of it and all the other things associated with me sticking to vaping, the likelihood is I'd go back to smoking cigarettes. And they know that that's the likelihood because they want people to buy cigarettes, because the dumb masses have already accepted the tax payments on cigarettes. It's what we do.
Yeah.
They pay tax all their life on what they earn. They pay mega amounts of tax to smoke cigarette, and it kills them early. So the state ain't even got to pay a pension pot at the end of it because the cunt's dead. So they don't want a healthier nation. It costs them too much money. Because, mate, if the nation got healthier and healthier and healthier, and lifespan increased and increased and increased, they'd end up just putting a law in where on your 80th birthday, they just come and shoot you in the fucking head and drag you out.
This is true.
They just wouldn't be able to. It's not sustainable.
How often do you hear people living to like up to 100? Not very often these days, do you? People don't live till they're 100 years old.
No, I mean, personally, I think most people should be shot in the mid-60s.
We always talk about fucking how many summers we've got left. Paul, you're giving me fucking 30 summers left.
No, I'm giving myself 21.
I could introduce a coronavirus, though.
You know what? People laugh at that, but I do genuinely believe that nationally, internationally, population control is a thing that's done.
Well, China's probably one of the most overpopulated countries in the world, surely.
Yeah, and they have population control because you can only have one child.
Yeah, but you can pay to have a second child.
Yeah. Or you could just dump the girls off in an orphanage and have a boy.
Yeah, because can't you have as many boys? You can have as many boys, but you can't have girls. What is it?
Yeah, you can still only have one kid, but you just have to pay for your second. All it means is that Chinese people are knocking out kids without registering them, and them kids are put to work when they're fucking 5 because they're not even on a fucking register nowhere. Because you just.
But that's crazy to think that happens because of fucking monetary value. That's all it is. It's just about dough. It's all about money. There's no fucking other argument, but we're doing it for money.
No, if they're saying you can't have more than one child because the country's completely overpopulated, but if you've got money you can pay and you can have a child, it's still got to go on the same fucking bit of the world. I don't understand it. I don't get how you can put a regular. It's a bit like the smoking thing. Even when I was a smoker, I always used to say, if it's that fucking bad, just stop selling it. I'd rather get up in the morning and not be able to go and have a packet of fags than be told by the people that are fucking taxing them that they're bad for me. If they're that bad for me, just fucking pull them off the shelves. But you can't because the money that's involved makes the world spin round.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's a lot everything comes back to is money. Money makes this fucking world spin. And certainly at them higher levels, it's just crazy.
Yeah, there is no. But here's a question though, Paul. As a shop owner, would you take the tax if they came in and said we'll tax it and stop all like banning and stuff like that? Would you take the tax on it?
That's really comfortable. I'd be paying it out of my own pocket.
If they came, like we discussed before, sort of like TPD, and if they said rather than fucking ban it, we'll take a 20% fucking tax increase, and everyone will go fine, but leave the fucking regs how they are, leave us alone. Do you know what I mean? Let us get on what we're doing, how we're doing it, and we'll just take the tax.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes back down to whether the business is viable or whether it isn't, and if the product gets taxed and people are genuinely vaping for their health, they'll continue to pay more for the vaping product. Yeah. Now, whether I, as a retailer that started right at the start, want to sell it for more or not, if I've got no choice but to, and there's enough people that buy it that supports the business and pays the bills and pays the wages, you carry on the business.
Yeah.
I just think that once that price starts to get anything like equilibrium to smoking cigarettes, the masses would switch straight back to tobacco.
Would you say that's just purely down to fucking convenience?
Is it what, sorry?
Is that just purely down to convenience where you think people would go back to smoking?
Yeah, well, like I says, I just don't think like even when we went through that fucking look, we had a quite an in-depth discussion about this maybe the week before last about money and mouth-to-lung vaping and the fact that as a business we used to literally sell on price. We used to use a comparison of tobacco against vaping because back then when I first started, I didn't know whether this stuff was bad for us or whether it wasn't. So I never ever made the claim that it was. What I could say was, if you mouth-to-lung and you buy your new kit for fucking 40 quid and you buy a new coil every week and you buy X amount of liquid every week, if you smoke 20 quid a day, this is how much you'll save. If you smoke 60 bags a day like me, more savings was over £6,000 a year. And even like I said, like, I've been using that tank since when I bought the tank top in Stuttgart last year.
Yeah, was it the end of May, July, beginning of June?
I bought that in May. I put one coil in it myself. Ollie Deek sent me some coils. It's still using the original coil that Ollie Deek sent me that I'll put in there. So the coil is June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So my coil's about 8 months old. Even if I was paying $3.99 for a bottle of Vampire vape full price, I'm considerably saving huge amounts of money over smoking cigarettes. And for me personally, I am a 20 a day smoker. I'm doing 10 ml of liquid a day because I'm chunking the life out of it. And I know if I went back to cigarettes tomorrow, solely without vaping at all, I'd probably exceed 60 fags a day because every time I fell off the wagon, the minute I put a fag out, I'm looking for another fag because the minute I've fucking this is in my hand, it's ready to go all the time, and that's what I do. So when I'm smoking cigarettes, I'll throw one out, and then I'm straight away I'm going to drag my fucking fag because the habitual side of that is by far worse than cigarettes.
Yes. Yeah. And that, to me, then when they start doing that and they start sort of taxing vaping products and people go back to fags, and once they see an increase of people going back to fags, I also feel like that's the time then they'd fucking price hike again and just fucking people even more.
Yeah, mate, look, when I started smoking cigarettes, I think it was less than £1 for 20 cigarettes.
Fucking hell.
And I can remember, I'm sure a packet of fags was about 97p. And if you bought 10, there was about 55p. So it was like £1.10 for your 20 if you bought them in 2 10 boxes. And then I can remember it getting over the pound. And I can remember getting it to £1.50. I can remember it getting it to £2. And I can remember everyone I knew, bearing in mind that I didn't smoke myself then, but I used to be able to go to the shop to buy my mum 20 fags when I was fucking 8 years old. I didn't even need a few Harrison want 20 Benson. I just used to go in there and ask for 20 Benson edges. I remember the hysteria generally amongst adults that smoked, and I didn't know many people that didn't smoke because in the early 80s, most poorer families smoked. It was more a poor thing to do than it was a wealthy thing to do. But I can remember the hysteria saying, the minute they get to £2 a packet, I'm not smoking. And then I can remember the hysteria saying, once they get to £2.50, I'm not smoking. And I can remember my dad saying, we'll be paying fucking £5 and £10 a packet for these in years to come. And everyone saying, fucking hell, I'm not smoking after fucking £3 a packet. But the truth of it is, you just your life. Because you're addicted to doing what you do. It's like the smackhead saying, well, actually, I'm not spending more than £30 a day on heroin. If he fixes he's fucking £60 a day, he's going to fucking spend £60 a day. And if he has to mug someone for his extra 30 quid, he's going to go and mug some cunt. Simple as that.
Right, you're right.
And the only way that I seen a financial gain from giving up smoking was by starting the vaping company. And that's not necessarily the profits from the business. If we hadn't have done what we've done and we give up smoking, we'd have just wasted it in other ways. I'd have never have been that £600 odd a month better off. Because you just fucking spunk it on different things. Actually, I committed my savings to the rent on the shop, to the stock, to doing what we've done and growing that business. And literally, like I said last week, it was the deciding factor for me going with the shop was, even if it doesn't work and we're struggling, what I'm saving on cigarettes will fund the rent on that shop. It'll give me an opportunity to see, does it work? Can we make it work? And it was just that alone that made me safe. Because I remember Tasha saying, fuck, now we're going to rent a shop. What if it don't do anything? And I was like, literally, the rent on the shop is akin to what we were spending on cigarettes every month. So as long as we keep vaping at that level of vape, and we're saving that amount of money that we're saving is only going to get more because cigarettes will continue to increase in price.
Yep.
We still would have bought 3 to 4 packets a day of cigarettes because that's what I've done every day. Every day I'm away from work, I either bought 60 fags or I bought 80 fags, literally depending on how many fags I had left in my box. So then I'd know what I'd need for tomorrow and what Tasha would need for tomorrow. And Tasha might have 20. Tasha probably smoked 40 cigarettes every 3 days. I'm smoking 60 cigarettes every day, sometimes going into my 4th box. Look,
Fucking hell.
Disgusting amounts of cigarettes. And I've said many times I've always been a heavy smoker. Back at school when people were smoking 2 cigarettes a day, I was smoking 10 fags a day while I was at school, and I was smoking another 10 fags on the evening after I got in from school. Now, obviously, I weren't sat in my living room smoking because my old man had the fucking. Obviously, back then, when I was a youth, you get in from school, you have your tea, you fucking get changed, you fuck off out. But from the minute I got round the corner, I was chuffing a fucking cigarette because I thought I was big and smart and hard and all the I've always think my spend monthly on cigarettes was equivalent to my spend monthly on vape. I did say a few months ago when this same discussion come round was I'd probably be more inclined now to stick with vaping because I do genuinely feel the health benefits. And as I've got older and closer to dying, I do think about my health more than I ever thought about it when I was 30 odd. When I was 30 odd, I was fucking 5 stone heavier. And actually, there was more chance of me dying through obesity than there was dying through cigarettes. So if my health was such a high concern, I'd have been walking around at 14 stone and I'd have been out jogging every night and I'd have been making the healthy food choices, not being a fat cunt. So on that basis, when I started vaping, literally it was just to save money. I didn't even know what a vape was. I said last week when I set up that first one and I took a drag and I blew out and it exhaled something, blew my fucking mind because I weren't expecting it because I'd never used one. I didn't know what they'd done. But I just knew that it was cheaper than cigarettes. So let's try it. It can't do me no wrong. And on that basis, if my comparable spend now is the same as vaping, I'd smoke cigarettes. I can't say that 100%, so I don't. Because like I said, my actual mindset. But I think generally most people will slip back in. Because when you're driving down the road.
Right, I've got. Go on. Carry on, Paul.
I'm just saying.
Carry on, Paul.
It's just more convenient and easy. It's more convenient and easy to smoke a cigarette than it is to vape any device.
Yeah. And if there's no difference in money value, then a lot of people will switch because it's just easier just to buy your bags.
I think so. I don't know, but that's just my gut feeling.
I think you're right. I 100% think you're right. Right, let's go to a bit of a light-hearted. Well, it's not light-hearted, but it's a bit. I don't know. So there's a shop called Vegas Vapes, and the owner was arrested inside the store of Vegas Vapes because he was selling drugs under the counter, alcohol, and he had strippers in the back of the fucking shop. If that's not a vape shop, lads, I don't know what the fuck you want it is.
Have you got an address?
The geezer was on the fucking news, right? And they went into his shop. Anybody want to search this? Vegas Vapes. If you want to search it, there's a video of the camera crew going in his shop, and it literally looks like a strip club. It's got fucking lights on the floor, leather couches. It just hasn't got a pole in the fucking middle of the room. It is literally like a fucking brothel. And he's going, I done no wrong. I done no wrong. But he got caught selling food, drugs, and had strippers in his vape shop. So shout out to Mr. Vegas Vapes. Fucking living.
What did he actually sold anything vape related?
But like the vape shop itself, if you watch it on the video, as I say, when they go in, it's like the front of it is like the tiniest bit is the vape shop, and then the rest of it is just seating, and it looks like, you know, when you go in limo and the limo's like fucking all lighted up, floors lighted up, proper fucking round. It's a proper strip joint. Like, you could just look at it and go, fuck me, you've had dancers in there all night making cash.
God, you would shit a brick if you walked in there for a fucking coil, wouldn't you? You'd be like, sorry, love. I'm going to be about another couple of hours yet. He's got some new gear in here.
There was a shop called Shady Vaping. That's the fucking shop right there.
You can just imagine it ringing his last. Oh, I spent £300 on mods and he brings fuck all home.
Come on, fucking legless.
Yeah, enough people in that manner go home on a Friday and go, oh, I've lost my fucking wallet, man. Bastard, wages are in it and everything. And all they've done, they've just been down to Vegas Vapes for the afternoon, mate. Blew their arsehole on fucking slags.
You see,
Beer and drugs.
men and people going into vape shops slow down over here. I reckon we start a fucking strip joint with a fucking vape bar.
Yeah, that's it. You ain't got a missus.
Proper
if me and Tasha had a management meeting in bed and I says, I think we should put some strippers in the shop, man, to lower them up. She fucking level me, mate.
Yeah, but you got to be trouble with the shop. I bought the Tom and Tom said he'll run shop, but I'll run it Sunday night after 6. Fucking amazing. I saw that story and I was like, I've got to tell you that. It's fucking brilliant. The geezer is literally in the interview, stood outside his shop like fucking, you know what I mean? Butter won't melt in his mouth, and you can blatantly tell he's got some naughty girls. Proper. So that's a little bit of a light-hearted story. So the next story before we get onto the Vaper Expo. So city parks around the US and some in the UK, I believe, are wanting to ban vaping and smoking. What's our opinion on being outside and not being allowed to vape or smoke?
I honestly think that if you're in the park with your kids and you're a non-smoking family, then it amounts to the same thing as being in a restaurant. Tom, at the end of the day, if you own that restaurant, you should be able to make the decision whether it's smoking or non-smoking. But the government decided you can't smoke indoors. There's lots of places outside now that you're not supposed to smoke. And I think if that's what they're doing, they do. But it should be applicable across both. And
I think as much as I agree with you, I think it depends on the device you're using. Because obviously, if you're sitting there with like a fucking dirty, just blowing stupid clouds, and it's just antisocial, isn't it? Like you say, but if you're sitting there, just a little go, you vape, no one's going to say much anyway, are they?
No, I agree. Fucking hell, man, I'm getting old. It's all this fucking walking in my boots.
All these boot walkings, fucking hell. Honestly, I'm giving you props for that once again. Fucking walking in boots. What a legend. What a fucking legend. You're going to be on next week. Tom, I got ingrown fucking toe.
I haven't had trouble with my ingrown toenail for ages, which is why I hadn't cut my toenails for so long, because normally I'm digging at my fucking ingrown toenail, so I'll trim my nails. But because last time I done it, I must have done a wicked job of getting my ingrown toenail. In fact, if I remember rightly, Tasha was pregnant with Bobby, and I put a status up saying, I know that Tasha's uncomfortable, but I still know. No, it's something about relief. I know I put a status up the last time I've done my ingrown toenail. I've not had a problem with it since, so it's got to be fucking 6 months ago or more. Which is why I'm not.
Fuck now you're walking though. Absolutely fuck now you're walking.
Yeah, you should do that. Worst thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll just end up with sepsis going on from some funky brain.
Expo Saturday and Sunday.
I can't believe Paul died from a gammy fucking toenail. Yeah.
Paul's the first case of coronavirus in his big calls Giuseppe.
Mate, that literally that's the same as this fucking THC thing. It's like then the government saying there's a geezer in fucking Birmingham died from an ingrown toenail, and we know that he used to wear Giuseppe's. We should ban Giuseppe's. It's fucking same as the THC thing that is, and going, oh, we need to just ban vaping because one fucking idiot's lied to his mum and dad about what he was using in his vaping.
That is the massive issue is that these kids aren't telling them what they've actually used and then just saying, "Oh, vaping," and that's the where they get.
Before when I was exploding, I mean, people were going, "Oh, you obviously had your battery loose." No, I didn't. No, I didn't. It was all the device's fault. Like, it's just it's forever, isn't it? If they're abusing a device, it's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just down to fucking ignorant and uneducated people, but it's also people not wanting to be realistic and saying, actually, do you know what? I bought dodgy fucking cannabis. Being open and honest, I bought dodgy fucking stuff and this is what's done to me. But rather than saying that, they're just going, oh, it was vaping. Well, yes, you was using a vaping device, but that vaping device is used for nicotine, not for fucking THC, vitamin E oil. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, the first time I'm over there pissed, I told my dad I'd been fucking spoiled. Your brother says to him, I've had a drink, what the fuck's it got to do with you? I've been fucking sitting there today with no fucking teeth in me, fucking 40 years later. So, mate's the same. When you fucking pal phones your mum and dad and says, Dave fucking dying here, what's he took? Oh, he's only using a vape. They ain't going to say, actually, we managed to get some drugs in a fucking cartridge that he screwed onto his vaping device.
But then the people take it too far rather than it just being like that. Then they start ringing the press, and this is when the press get hold of it because they're wanting to make a quick buck off fucking vaping because they know it's got such a negative thing in local press. Who honestly thinks I've got something wrong with my lungs? I need to go to hospital. But before you do that, ring the fucking Sun. Who thinks of that?
Same people. They've always got that quid face on them as well, haven't
they? It makes no fucking sense to me at all. Right, well, let's get into the fucking Vaper Expo. We've got 25 minutes left on show. I'm sure Paul's got his TV to watch at 10 o'clock.
Me.
Last episode.
Yep.
Last episode. I thought it was last episode. So let's get into the bit of the Vaper Expo. So it is Wednesday today, and the Vaper Expo is on Saturday and Sunday, but a lot of us will be starting tomorrow. What are our expectations for London? I know all four of us will be there at one point. What are our expectations? Do we think it's going to be a different demographic, have different people? What's our honest opinion on what we think the show's going to be?
I was quite buoyed up by Adam's comments last week about people local are buzzing about it because I just think generally it's not been. I honestly don't think the Vaper Expo's done enough advertising for it on social media. I think we're expecting the Birmingham show to carry the London show. I've seen people moaning about the quality or the quantity of the vendors that are there. So, as a vendor, I'm not expecting great things. However, it could be a fucking blowout show. You just don't. I don't think you know. We ain't going to know until Sunday night.
You know what, though? Since I spoke to you last, at least 10 people have dropped out in my little circle that are going for one reason or another, which is a little bit downhearted. But I mean, I'm still excited to go. I'm still excited about it, if I'm honest.
I think
Like,
does that
I think-
does this debate go back to what that's like we said last week, Adam? Like when you said, is it going to take people getting behind it to actually? Because as I say, the vendors are going to go in there, and we're all making an effort to be there. Is it people that's got to make the effort to make it?
I think the problem lies with everybody slagging it off before it's even fucking been like. It's as simple as that. Like they're slagging it off on social media, saying it's going to be shit, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, but it ain't even happened yet. So how can you say that? I mean, all right, the Chinese have pulled out, but I mean that's fucking obvious why they've got to pull out. For everyone's health and safety reasons, if nothing else. But I just think that gives a better chance to all the other, whether it be English, like Germany, just to pick up the baton and run. Really, like I said to you before, like last week, Tom. Like when I go up to like your sort of way, all the juices I see in the shop, I don't see down here, and it's the same as the other way around. Like. None of the juices that I see on the shelves here are the same what I see in shades. Obviously, you get like a few of them like Dinner Ladies, like Dr. Vapes. Other than that, like they're all completely different. So I mean, it might give the people that a chance down here to get a few of the what I think are better juices than anything else.
Kev, what's your thoughts?
I'm hoping it's going to be a cracking show, to be fair. Birmingham Expo is obviously fairly well established now, but there's a lot of people down south what wouldn't go up north as such to a Vaper Expo. But as it's got good sort of report and everything close by, I think it could still encourage a lot of people to go in that respect. So I am hoping for a good show, if I'm honest. Plus, I've got a £2 bet on it with someone. If it's busy, I'm due £2, so it'll be a bonus for me.
Mr. Drawbridge.
Yeah, that is Mr. Drawbridge. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a good show for not just for vendors' sake, but obviously just general consumers of obviously showing it can actually happen somewhere different and still create a good show, because obviously the organisers put a lot of effort in, everything else, and it would be such a shame for the turnout not to show the effort what they've put into it.
One of my concerns, if he doesn't achieve what he should achieve, I still think it reflects massively on Birmingham show as well, because right on Monday, the negativity about Vaper Expos generally will be fucking rough. And then all the same wankers come out of the woodwork saying, I told you vaping's dead, man. It's not even worth going to May. So I still think, no matter how well established the Vaper Expo is in Birmingham, a very bad show in London will reflect on how well May also performs. That's my concern.
I agree, but do you think because of other shows that have been in London that they've got that such negativity over the show? Because of previous...
I just don't think there's the same hype around the industry as what there was. And I don't think people... Yeah. Now, okay, boy, now, we're talking like in 48 hours, you're going to be set up ready to go. And if you think back 3 years ago to Expos, for the last 4 weeks on social media, every twat and their dog, including me, was polishing mods ready for Vaper Expo.
Yeah.
And getting their shit together and getting their shit ready, and it was just hype, non-stop. And then that hype naturally drags more people to the show. Just because people are just like, you know what, I weren't going to go, but if you're going, I'll go. And the same works in reverse.
It's a tough one. It is a really, really tough one for me because Birmingham's got such a great appeal and has had so much success that I don't particularly understand why, especially on social media, people are negative about it, because if they can bring the same style of show to London, it's just a different place, isn't it? That's literally all it is. It's the same show, the same people, the same vibe. It's just in a different fucking place.
Well, a lot smaller as well, isn't it? I think that's half the problem. But like we said before, you can't just go out and do a Birmingham-sized show in London because the money consequences of it, like.
It's crazy. But then also the amount of people at them shows also add probably 60%, 70% to the atmosphere of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
No matter if Professor Green is singing on stage and there's 4,000 people fucking popping about blowing clouds, it's much different to Professor Green singing on stage to 32 people. And
he did in Manchester.
No, but mate,
yeah, he's done it in Manchester though. He smashed it up there. Like I loved it.
Yeah, no, that's what. I mean, we said this last week, Adam. Actually, Manchester for me is still one of my favourite shows ever. I just love the vibe of the place. But that was a brand new show, and although the vibe was fantastic, there was no expectation. The thing with this is because of the Vaper Expo, ultimately, at some point in the last 5 years, it has been the biggest show in Europe, not the UK. It's been the biggest and best show in Europe.
Yeah,
it's got big boots to fill itself, and I do still think that the turnout and the success of this London show could have a detrimental impact on the Vaper Expos in the UK. Full stop. I really believe that, and I hope that's not the case. But that's just a concern that I've got.
Well, I'm still over the moon about it. Like I don't know why, if I'm honest, but I still really can't wait to get involved down there. But it's
I'm actually I'm buzzing myself. I'm buzzing to go. I'm not even sitting here chatting shit at all. I'm actually buzzing to go to London. I don't like London because it's fucking too busy for me and I'm northern. So London's not the place. But I'm actually buzzing to see what the show's going to be and to actually not get away from Birmingham because I love the Birmingham show. And everything's just so much.
No, that's what I'm happy about. It's something new. I'm half wanting that first time that I went to Birmingham. The first time that I went in there and I was like, well, this is the bollocks. Like, but I mean, whether I do get that feeling again, because I have been to so many at Birmingham, it's another kettle of fish. I mean, like I said, the last jam I went to, it was fucking pathetic. It was like, I think that done making more damage when it comes to expos in London, and it did good. Anyway, on my honest opinion.
But that's why I feel the negativity is there about it being in London because of previous shows. I honestly can't feel people being negative because it's the Expo doing it. I feel like it's negative because of previous shows that have been in London.
I don't think any negativity is because it's the Vaper Expo. I just think that the people that carried them shows were us. And our own personal excitement for these events is different than what it was 3 and 4 years ago. And whether that's because the three of us that are actively involved in selling, presenting us and whatever else, but I mean, you might tell me different, Adam. Do you still feel as excited about the lead up to an Expo as what you did 3 years ago?
Not for different reasons now. I mean,
just a straight yes or no answer. Just a straight yes or no. Do you feel as excited?
No, probably not. No.
And it's because we've done what we've done, and the thing that I'm still as excited about for these events, for me personally, is bumping into Adam because I don't see you, bumping into Tom because I don't see you, bumping into Kevin and every other vendor that's there and every other customer or Vaper that I know and I've got to know over the years and having a chat with them. And that bit for me is still as exciting. And as I said last week, if the sky fell in and we weren't vending at Birmingham in May, I would still go to the Expo in May because I still see the same people that I want to see. But I think the actual Vaper, the excitement of the Vaper is just not what it was because it just isn't.
it's not necessarily being excited about the vaping, it's excited about other aspects of it, isn't it? But then to me personally, what I'm more excited about, I am obviously excited about seeing people I haven't seen, but this one is actually walking into the hall and it being a different hall and how it's set out and how it looks. That's my excitement. My buzzing is to see what the outcome of it is. And that's honest. Like when we've been to Germany, we went to Germany twice last year, and when we saw like the size of the show in Stuttgart and went, fucking hell, isn't it small? And then you literally walked around it in 10 minutes, and then as soon as them fucking gates opened and there were fucking 10,000 people in there, we're like, what the fuck?
At Stuttgart?
Yeah.
Stuttgart was massive, you mad cunt.
No, sorry, at Hamburg. Yeah, when
so
Hamburg was small.
That's what I was just going to say. I think another one of the things that has sort of put in perspective of where the UK is how mental Stuttgart was last May.
Yeah.
Because it literally was the Vaper Expo 2007. I'd say 2017 for me was the peak of them shows. We've ended back end of 2016. But actually 2017 was when the hall was at its biggest, the vendors were at their biggest, the fucking each individual stand was at their biggest, the people through the doors was at their most. And actually Stuttgart had a bigger hall over the two halls than what Birmingham's ever had. And it was fucking ramming. It was ramming. Actually,
do you think oh, sorry.
I was going to say, not only was it ramming, but actually you can feel the atmosphere off the people that were there were excited to be there.
Truth.
Do you feel that half of the buzzings that kind of worn off? Because when we first started going to these, when I first started going to these expos, like, I always see new stuff, and now we've come to the point where there's not much coming out that's new and innovative. And you sit there and go, whoa.
That's probably 80% of the problem, is that the Vapers now just get a sort of a base, they're just all a basis of a theme, really. And they look slightly different, and they don't necessarily vape that much different. I still see people now saying, oh, you need to try this new tank, it's absolutely next level sick, and actually it's just the same as the old tank, and it's just got a different bezel on it, or it's got a different this on it, it's using the same core with the same size chamber, therefore there's a 99% chance the flavour is pretty much the same as it was before. And I just think our excitement was going, oh, fucking hell, such and such is dropping this at the Expo. I've heard this is coming, I've heard that's coming. And now, I honestly can't remember the last thing that dropped that there was any hype about. And even... Huh?
The dirty.
No, but I mean, even that, to be fair, the dirty... I mean, when we dropped the clean mod, the hysteria around vaping generally was at a peak. But actually, the fact that they could get an authentic product for 60 quid changed the demographic of people that was getting excited. Then we dropped the clean and the cleaner and the dirtier, and through all them times, the hysteria was still growing. But actually, I can honestly say the last thing that I remember being any sort of discussion about was when we dropped the MO, because it was completely different to anything else that had been coming out. Time after time after time after time. So there's people saying, "Fuck me, there's a new phone, and all them things." But actually, I don't even know what the latest smoke tank is, and I've got 2 shops. We just get them in and we sell them.
It's all very mundane when it comes to tanks now. I think they're all, like you say, they're all pretty much similar, or if not exactly the same, just carbon copies.
But this is what I don't want to see. I don't want us to be out, you know. But I don't want to see like it's peaked and then all of a sudden it's like that. Do you know what I mean? We're on a downward, and I feel like we've been on the downward. The downward was last year, and I feel like this year has to see a rise. 100% has to see a rise. 2019 was when everybody was like, and there has to be some sort of rise and a peak again.
I feel like where the hype of it was, like you say, 2016, 2017 was like when sub-owning come out like a box, like you said, cloud in a box That was when it come out of its pinnacle. But then ever since then, people go their own way of vaping. So you got like a few people branched off to like using mix. A few people branched off to using mouth to lungs, and then it's like. So not a lot of people that I know stop on them. They most of the people I know probably do the same as me, use mix when it's convenient, and then like walk about using the mouth to lungs. It's like I say, convenient. It's I still when I use a tank, I absolutely love it. But it's just I never look at it and go, I fancy using that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, without sounding corny as fuck, but like the sex appeal, the hype of it, and all that are sort of like the finesse. You know what I mean? All like the oomph of everybody's drive for vaping is sort of like whittling, very much whittling.
I also think that because stock product from a vape shop, including mods, including tanks, all became much of a muchness, and their ability was very much on par with each other. We all lost the ability to dick wave.
Yeah.
I do think that there was a lot of that involved in it. I do think there was a lot of pushing the limits on the mech, getting a fucking build lower than what you should have done, fucking about with the airflow, getting a bigger cloud, and people going, how the fuck have you done that? And you going, oh, you work it out for your fucking self, mate. And then they'd work on it, and they'd achieve what you'd achieved, and they'd push it a little bit further, and we were pushing each other.
Also, like going to have to be the first through the door to get one of 50 mods that never going to be made again as well. And they don't really think of it like that no more. No one makes like 1 of 10 mods. You have to be first in to get that mod, to get one of them. Do you know what I mean? It don't seem like that no more.
There's still a lot of dick waving going over Kevin's side of the fucking industry. Do you know what I mean? There's still a lot of dick waving going on over there.
Don't know about Thomas.
What about Kevin? Kevin is dick waving balls. No, I agree 100% with Paul.
Farmers got to do with this.
How big your tractor is?
There we go.
How big your tractor is?
My combine harvester.
Yeah, but it's all monetary value over there. Fuck the size of it. I paid $250,000 for my tractor. No, I 100% agree with you, Paul, on what you're saying about the hype and people trying to compete and having that where, as Adam said about the limited run mods, and you need to be the first to get it, and people buying VIP tickets for the Expo because they know what they fucking want, they know where they're going, they don't want to get there Sunday fucking afternoon, it be sold out. So they're doing that. There isn't that, and that you're right, and it's because of the saturation of the market, and everything is the same. But where do we push it from after that? You know what I mean? As an industry, where can you go? There's not really much of where we can go. That's where I shit myself, because I think, have we fucking peaked too early? Have we literally released every fucking device we could possibly think of way too early as a young industry? Have we peaked?
There's only so.
Say that again, Paul.
No, I just lost every cunt, and I don't know if my internet just glitched out, but no, I think there's literally only so far we can take it. And I think if you use Billet Box as an example, Billet Box has got a niche amount of people that are Billet Box users, and they are dick wavers, and it keeps that hype within that circle. And for whatever reason, Billet Box, until recently, has never really been copied on its merits of what it does and how it's made. And even though now you've got something that replicates Billet Box in many ways, they're mainstream quality and they're not 250 quid. So it still sets apart the elite than it does from the run-of-the-mill vapors. And they've done it fantastically well.
Yeah.
And I can think back to when I can remember buying cotton candies off Gale wholesale to sell in our shop. And I know that Dale had shot them off because they weren't shifting as quick as he expected them to. And obviously, he'd not long started the shop, and it was a lot of money tied up in stock. And within days of me having that stock, realising how valuable these cotton candies were, and I'd sold all of them apart from one that Tasha had. And then think, fuck you know, I was just sitting on fucking 1,500 quid's worth of mods there for 3 mods. I was selling for £400. And then because you couldn't get them, it naturally drove up the want of wanting one.
Yeah.
And the industry was just in a position where most of the people that were spending stupid amounts of money on mods at that time, most of them were actually something to do with the industry. So that also we'd all been gifted these lifestyles of money coming in that we weren't expecting at levels we weren't expecting. And if you waste 500 quid on a mod, it's not the end of the world. And I just think generally that whole thing's gone and changed. And I honestly don't know how that ever comes back. I don't believe Vapers will ever be as excited as we were, regardless of what happens. And I think even if something extraordinary dropped on Monday morning that blew all 4 of our minds to the next level and go, fuck me, man, that is so clever. We just say, fuck me, that's so clever, and crack on with our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know it's going to be available. It's going to be available. Like before, you used to get stuff that was only available at the expos and only available in certain places. But now, if I go down to my local shop and say, "Look, can you get this?" It's available to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we all know we're going to get.
driving it.
We know eventually we're all going to get one.
Yeah, it's less of a wanting it. Right, we've got 1 minute to go because I know Paul needs to get off for his TV show. We're going to do status of the week. So before I say that, anybody who comes down to the Expo, make sure you pop over to see us. We are stand A141 and we are with our friends at KR Vaper. Kevin will be there with me, holding my hand probably. And
walk through the door, turn right, and we are there.
There you go, stand A141. And the status of the week is, imagine years passing by and you think the beef is over because you ain't ran into me. Then boom, you laid out in Asda next to the bread. That is status of the week. So as I say, if we see you at Expo, make sure you come over and see us. And if you haven't got a ticket, make sure you got your tickets. And we'll see you next week with a post-Expo show. Fingers crossed it's all well. Lads, thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure to see you. And
No problem.
Peace out, everyone. Love yous.
Cheers.